This video is part of the Energy Sparks Induction series. Each video is a bite-sized chunk giving useful information in its own right. Watching a whole series will give you a full induction session. We also run these regularly as webinars, where you have an Energy Sparks team member on hand to look at your Energy Sparks dashboard with you. Help pages, available training sessions and more user guide videos can all be found on our website. Energy Sparks has a range of interactive charts that will help you to understand and analyse your energy consumption. We also perform a range of additional analyses to assess whether a school is using their energy efficiently and to spot problems. We analyse when schools have their heating on, how much electricity they use overnight, for example, and use this to recommend specific energy saving actions. We also provide analysis at the group level for multi-academy trusts and local authorities so that they can support their schools in making savings. Our simplest charts are easy to follow and can give very useful insights into what's happening within your school, and they're often available when you have very little data available to you. To navigate to your charts, click on Explore Energy Data on your adult dashboard. Here we can see electricity, gas and solar overview charts as we have all of this information available for this school. If your school has storage heaters, we can also present electricity use separately for those. Click on the tabs to switch between charts. This chart shows a bar for every week of the last 12 months. For schools with less available data, we will show as many weeks as we have. The charts are interactive. They use colour coding to enable a non-technical audience to quickly see when energy is being used, holidays, weekends, school days when students are in and when they're not. We can also show community use times for external lettings and clubs. To add these, go to the Manage School drop-down menu. Users can change units. This could be useful for sharing data with different audiences. Click on the different units to switch. You can also click on the legend to toggle different periods of time on and off. This is particularly useful if a school has multiple meters. If that's the case, a new page will appear called Meter Comparisons on the left-hand side. You can click on any of these weeks to see how much energy is used on days of that week. Then you can also click to see energy use for every half-hour period of the day. A good exercise is to walk through a day in the life of your school. What's happening overnight? This is generally what we refer to as a school's electricity baseload. It's the amount of electricity required to provide power to appliances that keep running at all times. These are things like fridges, freezers, servers and security systems, but it'll also include things that should be switched off overnight but aren't. This chart also helps to explain what we mean by community baseload. This is the amount of electricity required for those things that run all the time, during times that external groups are using the school. It would be unfair to assume that all electricity used in a school during those times was used by those external users. We can then see electricity increasing in the morning to a daytime peak, then returning back to the baseload level after school. Ask yourself if the times of increases and decreases match what you would expect. If something is coming on very early in the morning, is it on a timer? Does it need to come on that early? You can click forwards and backwards through days of the week to see how things change. Spot if things are coming on automatically during weekends and holidays. For gas, we show an additional line on the chart. This is a degree day line. It's a measure of how cold it is outside. The colder it is, the more gas a school would need to use to stay warm. Ideally, your gas use should follow this line fairly closely, except during the holidays. We can see immediately that this school's heating is using as much gas during holidays as during term time. Pop the units onto pounds and we can see that the school spent about £700 over the Christmas holidays on heating an empty school. If we click on a week, again we see quite high gas use at weekends. This is a sign that either some heating is left running or that frost protection settings may be oversensitive. Clicking onto a single day, we can then see that the heating is coming on at about 1 AM and going off again at about 8 PM. A really important part of this exercise is just to make sure that your heating is doing what you think it is. It's very common for heating systems to come on earlier than expected or be triggered to come on by some unseen setting or thermostat within the school. If you aren't there to check if the heating is off at 1 a.m, how do you know for sure that it is? We have more detailed analysis to help spot issues with your heating system and estimate savings that you could make by changing settings. These are covered in another video in this series. Don't forget to watch our next video in this induction series to help you get the most out of your Energy Sparks account.